In this next batch of episodes, it becomes increasingly clear just how much Nick is not ready for marriage. Like, he's so immature. At first, I thought both Hannah and Nick were both immature for marriage. But in these next batch of episodes, Hannah still has her issues. But overall, it seems like she actually has, at least the basic foundations of a marriage, especially when it comes to finances and things like that. She's very mature on that. She's very financially literate. Whereas Nick just came off incredibly financially illiterate and incredibly dumb. Like, when they were having that whole talk about finances, Hannah is talking about, where's your 401k? How are we going to split bills? And a lot of Nick's bills are paid for by his parents. Like, I think his car insurance, his phone bill. And Nick is 28. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, he's 28. Why isn't he paying his own phone bill? Why isn't he paying for his own car insurance? But I'm not gonna lie, if my parents were offering to pay for some of my bills, I'm not gonna stop them, darling. I'm not gonna stop them. So I can see why he's like, yeah, like, if my parents are gonna pay my bills, like, I'm not gonna stop them. But I feel like this kind of more so applies when someone is still like single. How do we feel about that dynamic in a marriage? Like, would you want to be married to somebody whose parents are still paying their phone bill? I can see the point of view of it being like, oh, like, why are you not financially independent of your parents at this age, especially if you want to get married? But at the same time, if his parents are happy to pay the bills even when he is married, I feel like, is that really a big issue? Like, if his parents are willing to do that? But I gotta hear from you guys. Could you marry someone, or could you be married to somebody whose parents were still paying some of their personal bills, like their phone bill, car insurance? Let me know what you guys think on the whole thing. But yeah, moving on, Nick is very clearly pampered, and he hasn't really had to think about some of the finances in his life that he would have to think about in a marriage. Hannah basically also asked him about his 401k, about, whether he's putting his money into stocks. I think that is an option with a 401k. And for those of you who don't know what a 401k is, it's like essentially like a retirement plan, like a pension plan, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. But Nick was like, what the fuck is stocks, basically? Like, saying that he didn't know what stocks were, and basically saying like, I don't care about stocks. And Hannah was like, what? Why don't you care about stocks? And he was like, well, do you care about sports? Like, comparing stocks to sports. Like, that was his comeback. And again, that just showed how immature he was. And then when Hannah was looking at him crazy and he kind of felt a bit embarrassed, he then like tried to push back and saying, well, you can lose money on stocks. Which is true. And Hannah did explain, like, she hasn't got crazy money, so she only does like, safe stock. And Hannah is even going out of her way to offer to educate him on it. And he is just rebuffing the whole thing. And I think maybe it's a pride thing. Like, who does she think she is that she knows everything about finances and is trying to make me look stupid? But Nick, maybe you could take her advice. But yeah, like I was saying, he doesn't seem financially literate. And don't get me wrong, like, in terms of stocks, I can understand people being wary about putting things in stocks, but there is other ways to invest your money where there is no risk, like putting your savings into an ISA account where you get paid interest, so you're not losing any money, you're gaining money. Like, he didn't say, well, I could do that instead, because that is a safe option. If you want to invest your money but you don't want to, you're not uncomfortable with stocks, you could do that. But he didn't speak about anything about that. He didn't speak about savings, nothing. So to me, again, it's kind of like, what are you doing getting married? Like, it just seems like an idea that he likes. Overall, the coupling with Nick and Hannah still very much seems like a boyfriend and girlfriend. I still don't feel like they're ready for marriage. Like I said, it seems like they're getting on a bit well. They're, both, holding each other accountable for things. But ultimately, it's not giving marriage, I don't think.